Hello, Edward here. Let's talk your healing and mine. The light's a little dim right now. It's nighttime. I was meditating a little while ago, and I came across this download. And you know me, in my philosophy on quieting the mind and everything's triggers, so on and so forth. And when you get wounds and you get angry and all this stuff, we are triggered because that's our wounds, our stuff, our emotions. And then I started thinking about love and triggers and how everything works. And then I realized this is going to be a hard pill to swallow, but this is how it works. Triggers are emotions from self. All triggers are wounds or are our emotions. So external things trigger our emotions. It's not what's being projected. If you're wounded, yes, projections can trigger you. People project onto me and it triggers me. But, it's not like a really, really angry thing. It's just like I don't tolerate it because nobody's going to project their issues onto me because I don't like that. And I don't do that to them. So I expect the same in return. But now I started thinking about love. And love, like all emotions, comes from within. It's created within. And realizing this, I started thinking about love, and the philosophy that I have is all emotions are triggers. So when you're falling in love with somebody, you're not falling in love with that person. They are triggering love within you. So that intense love you feeling is the feeling you have, the love that's inside you. They're triggering that love of you, for you, of you. It's not them, they're triggering your love. So the love you feel is the love of self that they're reflecting back to you. It is not them you're loving, it is you you're loving. It is you that you're loving. And they're triggering that within you. Like somebody does something or says something that hurts your feelings or makes you angry. That's triggering emotions within you of self, wounds, damage, unhealed situations and scenarios, all this stuff. You just don't get triggered by bad stuff. You get triggered by good stuff. When you laugh and stuff like this and you think something's funny, that comes from within, your humor. It's triggering laughter, your ideology, your philosophy, your energy that you're exchanging with people. It's all energy anyway. When people have really high frequency energy, you can fall in love with that energy and it triggers that emotion within you. That's why we feel love. That's why we feel anger, sorrow, anguish. All these emotions are triggers within self. So if you're getting negative feelings, that's because you have wounds and you have really fuzzy, warm, deep love feelings. That's you. That's all you. All emotions are you, triggered by external to feel what you feel inside. So that person, let's say for instance, you have a soulmate, really deep, deep emotional, spiritual, and physical connections, that's going to trigger that deep, deep, once in a lifetime called kind of love. But there are other people out there that will have that frequency. But it's a rare when you're healed to actually have that frequency. But the more people heal, the more people will have that frequency, and the more deep love you will get your opportunity for. Because they're triggering something in you. And if you've done all your healing on all your wounds and traumas and everything else, and you're conscious and you're healed, when you find that person that triggers that deep soulmate love within you, that is love of self. And when you feel that all the time, you don't need somebody else to trigger that in you because you do it yourself. When you're healed, that deep love is triggered within you. You do it yourself. You create that trigger with self. Oh my God. That is friggin' amazing. All triggers are of self. It's not somebody else you're falling in love with. It's what's being triggered within you. Now, what happens when people get triggered into love and they got this honeymoon phase, and then it wears off because we're realizing that it's just a patch? That's all it is a patch. But the patch won't hold forever because those are wounds in there. Those wounds are always going to be there. So you have to heal in order to maintain and keep that really high frequency and that really high quality love that you have of self. Because when you do that, you don't need anybody. But when you catch up to somebody who's at a high frequency, and you mix your energy and their energy, it's going to trigger that love. It's going to trigger that within you and within them, because it's a reflection of self. So if you're healed and you love yourself unconditionally, other people that are in the same boat, the same existence, the same consciousness of unconditional love of self, when you meet those, when those two meet, the reflection of self is going to be absolutely pure. Unlike somebody who's wounded, who reflects what makes them feel better about themselves. But see, those wounds are always going to come up. So that doesn't last because we have wounds. We're not healed. Our inner child is kicking and screaming because they're not feeling what they want to feel. So then there's projection and everything else, and all these insecurities pop up, and it becomes toxic because we're not healed. So do your work, heal. Touch base with your inner child. Quiet your mind. You know the routine. You know what I'm going to say. Quiet your mind, and then start meditating. Get your feet in the grass, ground, increase that energy of self, start doing your work, start doing your healing. And I tell you, when you heal, you start, that's my cue. I'll talk to you soon. Remember what he said, right? Feelings are for feeling. Feel them. Keep them out of your mind. You got this. Good luck. Talk to you soon.